Hello, everyone. Welcome and good afternoon to our info session for data analytics, big data, and predictive analytics today. My name is Mashur Chaudhry, and I am the manager of recruitment and sales for the Chang School. Now, before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge the land on which Toronto Metropolitan University is built upon. Toronto is in the Dish with One Spoon territory, and the Dish with One Spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, Mississaugas, and Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. I thank the Indigenous people of Turtle Island for their efforts to protect the land, and I deeply regret the past injustices they have endured. As Toronto Metropolitan University seeks to move forward in partnership with Indigenous people, I pledge to foster an environment that is more inclusive and welcoming of Indigenous people from all communities. Now, I'd like to go over a few items so you know how to participate in today's session. Your microphone is muted throughout the event so as not to disturb other attendees or our presenters. For the hearing impaired, we have automated captioning available, which you can access by activating in the toolbar at the bottom of your screen. And you can submit your questions anytime today for our speakers. We'll collect them throughout the session and address them at the end of the presentation. Now it's time to introduce our presenters and speakers for today. First, we have Tamer Abdu and Jenny Babalu, who are assistant program directors of data science at TMU and also of the certificate. And we have Jason Kim, who is our industry expert, director of data and insights at Manulife. Now, before we get started and welcome our speakers to do our quick presentation, we wanted to do a poll just to see the temperature of the room. So first, wanted to check what is the thing that motivated you most to consider this certificate. You've got career advancement as your option number one, career change, skill building for current role, and personal interest. We also have other there in case there is something else that motivated you. And then we also wanted to know what is your current level of familiarity of this certificate program. So there's high, moderate, and low. And yeah, we just want to know how familiar are you with the topic. And I do see there are some people that have selected moderate and low, which is basic awareness or minimal or no prior knowledge, which is totally fine because you don't need any prior knowledge to enroll in this certificate. So we'll leave that on for just a couple of more seconds, and then we will share the results with everyone here. But thank you so much for taking part in this because it provides very good feedback to our team, but also to our speakers today. Okay, so as you can see, career change, career advancement are the top reasons why you're considering the certificate. Some people also want to build the skill for their current role, and some have personal interest. And then we have a majority mix of moderate and low in terms of prior knowledge. And then we've got one person who has who's well informed about the program, which is amazing to see. So I'm gonna stop sharing now, and at this point, I will invite Tamer Abdu and Jenny Babalu, our assistant program directors of data science at TMU, to go over a quick overview of the certificate. Welcome.
Okay, thank you, Marshall. Thank you for the introduction. And hello, everyone. Welcome to today's information session on the Data Analytics, Big Data, and Predictive Analytics Certificate. Whether you're joining us live today or watching this recording later, we are excited to share how this program can help you launch and advance your career in the rapidly growing field of data analytics. Okay, let's start with the agenda. What are we going to cover today? We will begin by covering the program at a glance, including its format, length, number of courses, and overall investment. Next, we will look at the current industry trends, highlighting Canadian employment data, average salaries, and projected sector growth. After that, we will explain how course delivery methods and topics detailing how we balance live interactions with flexible learning tools. And finally, we will outline career outcomes, key learner benefits, and the process to enroll in upcoming terms. Okay, now program at a glance. Okay, we truly believe that a data-driven career starts here. This certificate program consists of 6 required courses designed to provide a foundation in data analytics, big data, and predictive analytics as well. The delivery is completely online, fully online, nothing in person, with both scheduled weekly live sessions and flexible pre-recorded video lectures. You can complete the program at your own pace within a timeline ranging from 8 months to 1.5 years, I can say, and the total tuition cost is around 6K. And eligible students can apply for financial assistance through OSEP. OSEP is the Ontario Student Assistance Program. And our certificate program is tailored specifically for learners like you looking to pivot into data analytics, advance their existing roles, or successfully manage data projects and terms. Okay, how about the industry trends? So data skills are currently among the most in-demand capabilities across Canadian economy. We all know it. There are currently over 283,000 data analytics professionals employed in our country now, earning an average salary, I may say, something around 90K, with past sector growth reaching 10.2%. And there are nearly 13,000 active job postings today, and the field is projected to grow by an additional 8.1% through 2029. And furthermore, the integration of artificial intelligence, AI, machine learning, is shaping how analytics works, making these core data skills essential across finance, healthcare, marketing, government, cybersecurity, etc. And now I want to take you to the course delivery methods. I know you are also interested in that segment. Our course delivery structure is designed to give you maximum flexibility, and then we can move to the next slide. Thank you so much. So the course delivery methods, yes, thank you. Our course delivery structure is designed to really cover flexibility. So we want to ensure that our learners, our students have that flexibility. So synchronous components include weekly live sessions through Zoom with their instructors and teaching assistants, supported by Q&A style tutoring sessions. Asynchronous components allow our learners to learn and go on their own pace with scheduled pre-recorded lectures, downloadable slides, self-assessment quizzes, and assignments with practical real-world applications. You will also participate in hands-on labs with real-world data sets through weekly live sessions with your instructors and TAs, structured discussion forums, and direct one-on-one virtual meetings with supervisors during the project course. So yes, we want to talk about the courses, and at this point, I want to pass it over to my dear colleague, Dr. Tamer Abdul.
Thanks a lot, Jenny. Thank you, Mashur, for the introduction. Well, as you see on the screen here, each course has its own set of learning objectives, and together they will prepare you to start your capstone project, which is in dark blue background, the royal blue background. That's the 820, that's the capstone course. So if you are asking which one should I start with, I would start with the one that I really know about, so I can be familiar with the approach and with the delivery methods in our certificate. So as you see, for example, 110, that's the database course where you will be learning the differences between different databases. like structured tabular data sets, rows and columns, how to model that, how to retrieve data from this, how to migrate this database from one server to another, for example. What if the database comes in semi-structured, like tree model database, like JSONs, like XMLs, how to model that, how to navigate this database. 830, that's the Python programming with more focus on the data structures and the algorithms. That's the recipe that you need to pipeline or to architect to answer a specific question using the Python programming language. If you are talking about 1 to 3, that's the foundations for statistics and probabilities. And to build upon that part to move to advanced approaches and techniques, that's the 642. 119 is very important to learn more about the different data life cycles and how to frame a business problem. After completing all of these courses, now you are ready to start your project course. Now you are ready to start writing. No, not yet. Thanks. Yeah. Now you are ready to write your project design. Identify stakeholders, which data I will be starting with, what kind of questions I have passion to answer, which questions I would like to answer. And it doesn't need to be the same as your current industry. If you have, for example, if you are working in healthcare field and you have passion for sports analytics, so why not? You can do that. The starting point of this project comes from you, not from your supervisor, not from your instructor. So you will be submitting this proposal, this project design, and then your supervisor will just make sure that you play by book, for example, like, or per se, like, did you do this? Did you do that? How about this? How about that? Or maybe you are working in business and you already have a degree in business or banking, and you would like to do or practice some customer segmentation. So why not? So this is the right place to practice and to connect all of these skills that you learned in these courses together to form something meaningful in 820. Okay, thank you. Let's move to the following slide. Yeah. So these are average salaries, and probably all of you know numbers can be phony without context. So what should I do? I would really encourage you first to go to the source of these numbers. That's the web page, our web page. Check the location. Maybe it's not in Toronto. Let me change the location. Let me check. I would go to the description, the job description of each and every position. I would check the minimum requirements. I would try my best to complete my portfolio. Okay, that will require me like what, 2 months, 1 year to do that. So work on that and put your goal to be machine learning engineer, data scientist, or financial and investment analyst. Let's move on. So these are some of the resources that we are providing here at Chang School. So it's all the courses are degree courses, so it can contribute towards your graduation in any program if the program allowed that or permit that. We also have awards, bursaries, and as Dr. Baba Oglu mentioned, it's OSHAB eligible as well. Besides accessing the library, besides accessing to the resources, the articles published, or some of the textbooks that we use in our certificate, you will have access to Azure platform. It's a virtual desktop hosted by our IT team, where all the tools that we are using in our course already installed and set up for you to just complete your course work. Flexible online learning, all the courses will be run after like 6 after 6 p.m. That's Toronto time. And we have also some of the courses that we are running on Saturdays. Industry connections, that's the networking events, panels, and communities. And also by completing the certificate, you will have career advising session where you will find someone who can help you in like preparing your resume, reference letters, and such and such. Okay, I will leave it here. Thanks a lot. Yeah, let's move on. I think that's the last one. Yeah. Back to you, Mashroor. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that overview, Tamer and Chenny, both of you. Really like hearing from the both of you and your perspectives. And this is an exciting certificate. Really glad that you shared the fact that there is degree credit and also a lot of other support and options that are available for people that are interested. So now it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, our industry expert, Jason Kim. Jason leads the team as Director of Data and Insight at Manulife and is also a past student of the certificate. Jason, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Hi everyone, and thank you, Mashroor, for that intro. The and I saw a question in the Q&A module from Mohammed, and I thought that I would address your question from my perspective as a former student of the program, right, and also as a current hiring manager. And I'd say basically to back up a bit, I had worked for several years in marketing down in the States, and basically, when I returned to Canada, I realized that marketing is not something that I wanted to do long term, and that I was sort of getting bored of the career. And so, at that time, it was around 2016 or so when I returned to Canada, and in marketing, I got exposed to digital analytics, data analytics, and so that's what originally piqued my curiosity. And so when I moved back, seeing that I wanted to make a career change and really get invest fully into data analytics, that's how I came upon this program and got my start, right? And so um, you asked if this program is enough to aid in switching careers. It certainly did in my case. It helped in many other people's cases that I finished the program with, who are now working in this field. And definitely this program will give you a good foundation in terms of the technical skills you need to succeed in this position, in this role, right? So, of course, there are no guarantees, right? It's not like you have a job offer right at the end of the program. There still needs to be you still need to do the job of translating what you learn into the jobs that you apply for and the industries that you work in, right? And so, and in my case, what I did was I used the capstone to really propel me to target industries that I wasn't working in, but I wanted to work in. So for my capstone, I focused a lot on like transportation analytics. And so I used that to get a interview with the City of Toronto's transportation department. Like I just cold called them. They had zero positions available, but I got on the radar of the director of transportation, told her that I'd come up with a predictive model to predict which intersections in the city are the most dangerous to pedestrians, and that I wanted to show this work to her and her team. And by almost fluke, she agreed to a meeting, and I got to present basically my capstone at City Hall in front of something like thirty people that worked in the transportation office. So, um, I'd say, yeah. Did I know how to do all that before doing the program? Absolutely not. Is the program the only reason I was able to give that presentation? No. Of course, I had to use my own initiative, as well as my own creativity to come up with the opportunity and also to decide to use the capstone in that way, right? And so, but yeah, I'd say speaking from my own experience, if you're considering taking the program for career change, career advancement, yeah, I think you're in the right place. But also know that you also need to do the work and use your own connections and background experience in whatever career you're coming from to propel yourself forward. Um, you ask, is this a AI-proof career? I mean, I dare you to find me any career that is AI-proof. Okay, maybe I don't know, lawyer or judge, a dentist, maybe. But I'd say that there really is not uh, any job that's really off the table as far as AI and how it'll transform it, right? I'm seeing that daily at my current workplace, right? And so that said, I think the skills that you'll learn here actually put you in a pretty good spot as far as being able to handle the AI transformation that's taking place in our workplaces, right? So, um, obviously, with uh, generative AI models being sort of mainstream and pretty much it being very normal for non-data people to use AIs to do a lot of their work, frankly. I think there's going to be a situation where the data experts, the domain experts, are going to become more valuable over time because what AI is currently replacing is entry-level work. So we don't use AI for any kind of sophisticated analyses or anything where it's extremely risky for the machine to be involved in, but so that's still work that a human will do for a long time, probably, right? But where we have seen a lot of disruption is in terms of entry level work. So if you are, say, a student that's graduating, and you're trying to enter the workforce, I think increasingly you're actually competing against AI for the same tasks that you would normally do. So, for example, building basic reports in Excel, um, giving like basic presentations, things like that, right? Data entry work, any kind of processing work, a lot of those jobs are disappearing because of AI and will disappear because of AI. Because frankly, they can do it better and cheaper in a lot of cases, right? So I'd say though that the skills you learn here will help you make yourself AI proof from the point of view of becoming a data professional, being able to tell when the AI is making mistakes or not, and to be able to truly explain what's going on in the business, right? And being a trusted resource, whereas I think AIs will always hopefully be treated with some skepticism, and especially for the most risky, the most complicated, high value tasks, I think there's still going to be plenty of room for humans to do that work. Um, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'd say one more thing, and I can answer other questions as well related to career stuff if you have that. I mean, you can put them in the Q&A section, but another piece of advice I'd give everyone is, after you finish the program, like think about like what unfair advantage you have. So, I've hired, I don't know, dozens and dozens of roles over the years. I've seen probably well over like 2,000 applications, right? And I'd say it gets harder year after year as more people get into data analytics, more people get interested in it, but also as the economy changes and also there's sort of a critical mass now of data people doing this type of work, right? And so you really need to have an unfair advantage now to have a chance, right? So what do I mean by unfair advantage? Like you need to basically be referred. to a job, or you need to have some way in. Maybe it's someplace you already work and you're trying to move laterally to another data role, right? Or something like that, right? It's very hard these days for some of the reasons I mentioned with like AI displacing a lot of a basic work. It's really hard to get your foot in the door, or to have a company that's willing to take a risk on a new data analyst without any prior history working in data, right? And so you need to think about ways you can translate what you're currently doing. Like when you're taking this course or this program, think about ways you can use the skills you're learning now today in the job you have now, and use that as leverage to get your pure, so-called pure data role in the future, right? Um, and if you're just starting out in terms of your career, like you just finished school, let's say, yeah, you're going to need to take advantage of the career resources in the program, but also your own personal networks. You might end up working someplace where maybe the data or BI practice is not very good or not very developed. And that's where I think you can make a huge impact and propel yourself forward, right? And leapfrog to the career that you actually want, right? And so these are some of the basic tips and advice I have as far as people wanting to take the program to make a career change and how I would approach the job hunt after the program myself as just a hiring manager. So yeah,
Awesome.
that's it for me.
Thank you so much, Jason. Always really good to hear your insights and your perspective. You give us that lens into the industry that is very valuable for our learners here. So thank you for doing that, and thank you for answering some of the questions. So I know we had a couple of questions regarding what is the recommended order of courses to take, and also some questions about synchronous and asynchronous and live sessions. I know, Jenny, you said you wanted to maybe share that with everyone live, so go ahead.
Of course. Yeah, there was a question about CIND 110 and also about the sequence of courses. I already, replied to those, but if there's
Yes.
a follow-up question, I would be more than happy to answer. But the sequence, I can just review that segment. We prefer to start with the introduction course, CIND 119, and then CIND 123, which is, as Dr. Abdul mentioned, it was the statistics course. So 119, 123, and then 830, which is the programming, Python programming and data structures course, and then CIND 110, and then CMT 642, and the last course will be the capstone project course. So 119, 123, 830, 110, CMT 642, and CIND 820. In terms of the delivery of the courses, all the courses except the okay, so all the courses except the capstone project course have weekly live sessions and pre-recorded video lectures. So the structure is something like the students will watch the video lecture before attending the live session. And during the live session, the instructor and the TA will go through the module content, video lecture, explanation, Q&A, answer the question of the questions of the students, and then we will take you to the lab session. The weekly live sessions will take 2 hours or so, minimum 2 hours, I should say, but you should give some time for the video lectures as well. So each and every course has both asynchronous and synchronous sessions. So one question is related to the master's course. So 3 courses of the program, CIND 110, CIND 123, and 110, 123, and CIND 830. Those three courses are prerequisites for the master's program, but there is no direct path to the master's program, as you can imagine. So yes, I will pass it over to you, Mashur.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Okay, next question is for Jason. As a hiring manager, what are some tools and soft skills that you are looking for when you're hiring a data analyst? And then for both Chenny and Tamer as well, just to add on to this, would this certificate be enough to qualify for someone for a junior data analyst role, or would you recommend additional experience and projects? So Jason, you can start, and then
Yeah,
Chenny and Tamer can
yeah,
follow.
great questions. I'd say the main thing that I'm looking for, like on a resume or even just in like when I'm interviewing data analysts, it's basically obviously one thing is like the technical skills. So we pretty much every data job you apply for, you'll usually have a technical test as part of the process. And in many cases, the test will be far easier than what you cover in in the program. So definitely in terms of the technical skills, you'll be well prepared for pretty much any kind of technical test that you'll encounter, most likely during the interview process. In terms of the hard skills and stuff that we look for, SQL is a huge must. That's not something that's going to disappear. It's been around forever, and it's going to stay around pretty much forever. So yeah, I'd say focus a lot on SQL. I think Python is also important, but not as ubiquitous as SQL, right, in data analytics. It'll help you, but you just need a very solid understanding of SQL, and Power BI is the other one that I would recommend because with Microsoft's like sort of dominance in the sort of workplace, right? Pretty much every company, a large company, will be using Power BI. So fortunately, it's very easy to learn. So and you're going to have some experience in the program as well using it. So I'd say focus on those two as far as the technical skills. And then in terms of soft skills, these are very underrated. So you probably have encountered a lot of people like this. They are very good technically, and maybe following instructions literally, but they're not good at interpreting what is being asked or to apply, to figure out like what the business problem is and using data skills to answer it. So that I've seen a lot of very bright technical people struggle with, right, in the workplace. And so uh, whenever I am looking at someone's resume or interviewing them, I always check to see whether they are able to translate business problems into data questions and data answers. And what that might look like, say, on a resume, is they don't just talk about they don't just give a list of all the acronyms that they know, like SQL, Python, R, blah, blah, blah. They talk about actually solving a business problem using data, right? So, for example, um, I increased revenue by 30% by identifying an opportunity in such and such using a predictive model or something like that, right? Like to make sure you talk about the results of what you do, not just what you know, and that'll hopefully make you stand out during the screening process.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Jason. And then the next question, I know, Tamer, you'd like to answer it, so I'll bring you in. For would this certificate be enough to qualify someone for a junior data analyst role, or would you recommend additional experience or projects?
Well, as a starting point, so try to complete this certificate and try to take this the project course, the CI and the 820 course, and then take it from there. If you would like to collaborate with your peers, with your colleagues on an open source project, try to do that. That would be great. So try to have a plan to enrich your portfolio with the skills. The other thing that I would like to focus on in in this certificate or in these courses, we do not teach tools. So it's we believe, like all the instructors actually, and all the designers, I'm one of them of the certificate. We believe tools are there to be used. It's not the way around. So Are we using Power BI? Yes, we are using it, but it's just a hand to deliver a concept that we are learning, period, or full stop. Some of the labs have been written in JavaScript 3 years ago. Now we converted these labs into Python. Uh, is Python better than JavaScript? No, it's not about that. It's we changed that, but we kept the concept as is. So it's just, again, it's a tool. Some of the students I'm supervising in the capstone project, they use R as a functional programming language and Python as an object-oriented programming language. That's completely fine. They use structured data set and semi-structured at the same time. That's completely fine. Whatever feasible, what's the ultimate goal here is to come to a maintainable project or a just rigid project that use lots of tools that you cannot even maintain in future. Maintaining here like easily correct your project or easily enhance it or test it. I
Love that. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that, Tamer. And I also want to let everyone know because I know it's important for people to know what kind of support you're going to be getting in terms of career support or jobs and things like that. So one of the things that we do for this certificate is when you're completing the last two courses of the six courses that are offered, you will have you will have a career wraparound support from the academic coordinators and program director. It'll happen virtually, but it includes building your resume, reference letters, and how and where to apply for specific data analytics, machine learning, and AI analytics roles, including higher roles than entry level. So we definitely recommend you take advantage of that once you're into the second last course of the certificate. So just wanted to quickly mention that for anyone. Next question is from Oren Robinson. Thank you for your question. And the question is about domain knowledge and how much it matters for each industry. So, Jenny, maybe you can
Okay,
start with
yes, I
that.
can take that. So first thing I should say is this certificate is not a domain-specific certificate. Throughout our courses, throughout our lab exercises, we take you to different domains. We take you to real-world application, real-world scenarios, real-world case studies from different domains. So that's why it is not domain-specific, but we value the analysis segment. We structure the courses in a way that the analysis and the structure we give you can be implemented in any domain. It can be a domain, it can be a data set coming from finance domain or government, public, private sector, really doesn't matter. It can be related to sports data or city data. It can be related to collisions maybe, right? So that's why it is not domain specific. But of course, if you're targeting a domain, for example, you want to work in banking, okay, in that industry. So then you can choose your capstone project course from that domain. You can choose a data set which is related to your job search or to your career search in the future. So, and the other thing I want to mention about the support system is that, and Marshall, thank you so much for mentioning that. So when you are taking a course from the Cheng School, you're associated with the Cheng School, and we already have professionals, advisors who are having one-on-one appointments with our learners, our students. And I hear very positive feedback from my students about our career support. And also you can attend to events which are organized by TMU. So not only with the Cheng School, but you will also be associated with a big university, Toronto Metropolitan University. And there are many events related to career search and networking, creating a professional LinkedIn page, for example. There are many sessions, and I can see that every month there are 10 or 12 sessions that students can attend, and most of them are fully online. So that's why you will be available. Thank you, Mashur.
I love it. Thank you so much. Next question is, and maybe you can start this one as well, Jenny, is someone from non-data background would it be okay to go through the program and eventually get a junior position in data analytics? So yeah, maybe
Yeah, that is
you
another
touch on
great
that.
question. So as Tamer also mentioned, so the certificate program is designed in a way that we don't expect our learners, our students to have any background at all. So yes, we know that data science is interdisciplinary. And when we come to the classroom, I mean, online classroom, we know that we have some learners, we have some students who have some maybe background in statistics. Maybe they have taken a course in computer science, or maybe they didn't have any course at all. So the structure is that there is no need to have any prior knowledge, but we design the courses in a way that that's why that course sequence is important. You can start with the introduction course, CIND 119, and then CIND 123, and then 830, right? And then, for example, CMTS 642 has three prerequisites. So, for example, I wouldn't recommend my students to take CMTS 642 before taking the prerequisites, right? So that course will need some background. But the previous courses will not need any background at all. If you do not have any coding background, you're welcome. If you're not having any statistics background, you're welcome. Yes, tools are tools. We will show you how to use tools to do your analysis. Okay, our focus will be on the analysis segment so that when you get a result from a code, like one line of code, you get the result, you get the output. But the important thing is how you interpret that. How do you present that? How do you discuss that with your stakeholders, with your classmates, maybe with your instructors, with your colleagues? Right? So that is the part that we really value. And that's why soft skills are also incorporated in these courses, especially in the capstone project course. Thank you, Maishu.
Great. Thank you so much. Next question is from Michaela. Thank you for your question again, Michaela. And it's for Jason. What's something that you'd wish you'd focused harder on in the course that you'd only realize was important once you were years into the job?
Great question. I was a fairly hard worker. I mean, Jenny and Tamer would probably remember when I was a student a long time ago. I was unusually organized. So I mentioned the capstone. I already knew generally what I would do for the capstone even before I started the program, like because I knew what my career goals were. I knew what industries I would target, and I knew what data was out there, right, related to that, right? So I didn't have any skills at the time, but I kind of knew the general area that I wanted to be in, right? So I wouldn't say that there's something that stands out as, oh, I wish I had done X or Y more. I think it is really important to have a clear idea that you don't just go through the program and like as if it were like a roller coaster. You're just there to take a roller coaster, and then you start the ride, you end the ride, and then you're off on your way. It doesn't quite work that way. I think it's more effective if you already have a plan in mind, like I did, and try to apply the skills as much as you can to that plan, right? But if I had to pick something that I would maybe have spent more time doing is probably connecting the work to the domain that I was targeting. So I waited until the capstone to kind of do that. But I think you can just do that starting from day one, right? So let's say you're learning about probability or some statistics or whatever. You might want to start applying that to something you're interested in rather than just answering math questions, right? Or if, let's say, you're learning SQL in one of the courses, you might create on your computer, a little database of data that looks similar to the data you deal with at work in your job, and try to practice your SQL that you're learning in class onto some of your work data and work databases, right? So that's something that I'd encourage everyone to do. Try to make it as realistic as possible and as practical as possible to whatever career you're trying to target or whatever industry you're trying to target.
Love that. And, that's really good information, Jason, because we do have during the course three weekly drop-in virtual tutor sessions with veteran data scientists who teach the courses and also teach other machine learning and AI agentics courses. So, strongly recommend if you're taking this course, leverage those tutor sessions and bring your questions so that if you're seeing something in your work or seeing something interesting that you want to dig deeper in, these assignments, weekly labs, and virtual tutor sessions will really help with. Well, with that, we are actually on time. It's 1 o'clock. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I just have one last quick poll for everyone while I do my closing comments. And just if you want to answer how we did and how likely you are to take a course from this certificate. But in closing, thanks to our presenters today, and thank you all for taking the time out of your day during lunch period to join our session. If you're interested in learning more about the certificate, please visit our website at continuing.torontomu.ca. And if you have any other questions, you can email me directly at mash.chaudhry@torontomu.ca. All of this information and the recording of this session will be sent to you with a survey within the next 24 to 48 hours. And on behalf of the Chang School and all of our speakers and presenters, have a great rest of the day. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Pleasure.